We have a follow-up call from a man in Dallas, Texas, named Steve, who called in. He called in to talk about something he was struggling with. He's continuing to struggle with that same thing, and this time his wife is on. So let's see how this plays out. All right, let's go out to line 2. Hey, Steve, what's up, man? You there?
I am here.
Excellent, man. Excellent.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, so I'm going to bring on Melissa. Let's see here. Melissa, you there?
Yes.
All right, so Steve and Melissa from Dallas. All right, so Steve, you called the first time. Give us a recap and let me know what's going on.
The recap was that I had been lying and hiding things from my wife. I'm on my third marriage and just didn't know where to go, how to handle it, what to do with it all. And then the lies continued, honestly. And Melissa found out, and 3 weeks ago, we kind of separated for a couple weeks. She was done, and then asked me back, and I'm back at the house, but we're in the process of splitting. And she reached out to you and asked me to be on with you to see what to do.
Okay.
Or see if there's hope.
Refresh my memory and all of our listeners. What were you lying about? What are you hiding?
I hid some purchases for some friends. I was vaping some and hiding those purchases. I also, this will trigger you, I went fishing instead of hunting.
Terrible.
One time.
Melissa, this relationship's over, Melissa. I'm just kidding.
So,
okay. I remember now. Yeah. Okay. So, and if I remember when we talked, and I didn't go back and listen to the original call before this, the things that you're lying about, on one hand, are relatively benign, right? It's not like you have secret addictions. It's not like you're having affairs. You just lie about weird, almost non-essential things, and what becomes really essential is just your complete inability to be trusted, right?
Correct.
Okay. Melissa, I'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
Tell me what you've been experiencing over the last 1, 2, 3, 4 years.
A lot of feeling very uneasy and just feeling like I'm always looking over my shoulder, or just hearing things out of his mouth or seeing actions that make me feel uneasy, but then he tries to convince me that everything's okay and will even make me feel kind of crazy, like I should be getting over the past lies. And so I would keep trying to trust him again, and then I would catch him in another lie, and then we would be trying to work through that. And then even times of trying to be in the middle of sitting on the couch working through the root of the lie, I would catch him in another lie. And then it eventually got to where, he had his own counselor, we had a marriage counselor, and then he had an accountability partner, and he had called into the show, and he was, trying to convince me that he's going to do the hard with me. He's going to face me when he doesn't want to tell me things. But then I found him lying again, and that's when it felt like there was no hope in that this was ever going to stop. And he hadn't told the counselors that he was lying this last time. He hadn't told his accountability partner, so it felt as though he wasn't working on the lying. It was like he was just telling me that he wasn't lying, but he was still holding stuff from me.
So sounds like you drew a line and said, I'm out.
I did. And then a few days later, I missed him and wished that we could work it out, because we do have this amazing, tender romance, intimate. Everything is so beautiful on this other side of us. And then we have these struggles with him with autonomy. I feel like he struggles trying to have autonomy. He doesn't want to be told what to do. That triggers him when, if I ever portray anything that would make him feel like I'm being like a parent to him,
Give me an example.
And then trying to get chores done around our property. If I maybe say, hey, do you plan to mow soon? Can I get out and help you?
Steve, why does that set you off? Like this morning, my wife said, hey, I need you to do some man stuff. And I said, laughingly, I thought we were all equal. And she said, I need you to fix the fence, fix this hand. Like, she gave me a list of chores. What about that sets you off? I was kind of honored that I could actually do some things around the house to help out.
I don't mind doing things. We've had differences on opinions on, like how we live on 4 acres, so I'm more of a naturalist and like to let it grow up some and natural stuff go. And she likes it more trimmed and kept up. So we've had some differences on that I have not been good at managing, putting in my input or whatever. So that's one thing I know for sure.
I wish I'd gone back and listened to the call, so I'm going to put some things out there listening to both of you. Steve, tell me where I'm wrong, okay?
Okay.
I don't like the gang up, okay? I just don't like it, but either you have a psychiatric challenge, you've got a significant pathology with an ability to filter the truth, or you are incredibly immature. To the point of just being a baby. Like, and you just make stuff up. And I would tell you, I always believe there's reconciliation, but no, I don't believe you have a hope in a relationship where you won't show up and be honest. That is the foundation. It's like building a house without a foundation on it.
Right.
Which one of those is it? Like, do you need to go see a psychiatrist and do some work with your, like, some neurological work? Or if you're honest, are you just pretty immature? I'm just going to do whatever I want to do whenever I want to do it. I really don't give a crap who gets hurt. Marriage 1, marriage 2, marriage 3. I just don't care. I'm going to do whatever I want to do.
I don't believe it's the latter one.
But you see your behavior is a language. You see that's just how it plays out, though, right?
I do understand that.
Okay.
I do understand that. Yeah, I grew up with a helicopter mom and domineering females in my life. There's some histories of female dominance that have bowled me over. So when things like that happen, I shrink into myself. I get quiet and dig my feet in when somebody suggests something that I haven't done yet or whatever. And part of it is embarrassment that I haven't done it yet.
Sure. So I think I was right, actually. More right than I originally thought. I think it is a sign of immaturity. And I don't mean that in a YOLO. I mean, you're vaping. Come on. But like there's a YOLO thing. And beneath that, no, I'm sorry, I don't think it's a YOLO thing. I think it's beneath that. The 7-year-old you is still running the show, right? Your 7-year-old you is still trying to keep you safe from these women who pushed you around and shoved you around and made you live a life that wasn't safe or wasn't healthy for you. The problem is you're choosing to let whoever those women were ruin yet another marriage. And so I'll sit with you and be like, yeah, man, that sucks that happened. And then I'll look at you and say, okay, are we going to keep letting those women who did that to you ruin everything moving forward? Because that's what's happening. Or to put it more simply, at some point you have to choose to stop blaming and start making changes. Otherwise, you're going to lose it again. And you're going to give the keys to your joy and to your happiness and to your connectivity. What Melissa says are great parts of your life. You're going to give them back to those women and go, y'all can keep controlling me. And at some point, you got to decide, I'm not going to let them control me anymore. And that's just called growing up. Is that fair?
Yeah. Sort of.
Okay, tell me where it's not.
It is a response that I'm not choosing to be immature. I'm not choosing to be a child. I'm free flowing, free spirited, and if something doesn't get done right away, I don't stress about it. It's not so much I just don't want to do it and I just want to do what I want to do. It's just,
I get that. I totally get that. But it sounds like you have a woman named Melissa who's telling you the way you can love me is this. And you go, nah, not doing that. And so, yes, the answer you just gave me is me. I'm free flowing. I don't think it's a big deal. I don't care about this. I just kind of go with the flow here. And you have this woman that you're married to that you looked in the eye and said, till death do us part. And she's saying, here's how you can love me. And you go, nah, I'll just free flow it. That's the definition of immaturity. My boss saying, hey, I need you to dress a certain way for this big meeting. Nah, not going to do that. My kids being like, hey, Dad, can you help me make a lunch? Nah, let's just go with the flow, dude. There'll be some kids there at lunch at school that don't have any food. I mean, they have too much food. They'll hook you up. You're good. You see what I'm saying?
No, that doesn't resonate. I don't think it's that simple.
I think it is. Melissa, does it resonate with you or no?
It does, yeah. From what I've been told from him, he tells me that I have a strong personality and he doesn't like conflict with me. So that's just some stuff that I hear from him. But yes, it feels like a lot of times like he just kind of digs his heels in. And we've tried to negotiate things. I've tried to back off of asking him as much for, doing chores and things. And that seemed to kind of help give him some freedom, some autonomy. But then the lies continued. And so then I feel like we were trying to work on the other stuff and kind of come to more of a middle ground. But we did still struggle with it some, but the lies kind of underneath it all was the hardest.
Steve, why do you expect her to give up a big chunk of who she is in order to honor how you feel and want to respond to things? Yet it's so hard for you to reciprocate that.
I don't expect her to give up her chunk, which is why I have honestly felt splitting is the right thing so I can get out of her way and get out of every other person's way and let her find what she needs and deserves. I don't know that it's me has been where I've gotten to.
I don't think you believe that.
I do.
Why are you quitting on yourself? I think you actually love her. And I think she loves you. Is it not worth the effort?
That's not it at all. I feel like I've lost myself over the last few years, and I don't know.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Is it you've lost yourself, you've lost your ability to just do whatever you want whenever you want to?
No.
Okay, what does it mean?
I haven't been able to express who I am in some ways.
What does that mean? Here's what I think, Steve, with all my guts. I think there is a big underlying issue that you hide from everybody. And I don't know what it is. And if you don't want to talk to me about it, that's fine. That's your prerogative. But I can feel you wanting to love and support and show up. And I also can feel the challenge you have. And it would be real easy for me to beat you up for it, and I'm not going to. I do think it's as easy as choices. I do. But I think you're sitting on one or maybe several massive secrets that if you say out loud, you might think differently of yourself. The world might think differently of you. You may lose Melissa, whatever. But I say it all the time, secrets kill. And you can come back and be like, no, John, you're wrong. Fine. I would be stunned if there's not some things underneath this. And now you're telling me I just can't be myself. I just can't. What does that mean, man?
There's no secrets. I'm not hiding anything else.
Okay, then what does it mean?
I came clean.
You can't be yourself. What does that mean?
It means I didn't feel like when I brought up vaping the first time, I asked for help and she went to get divorce papers and there was no support or love there that I'm struggling with this.
Melissa, were you going to divorce him over vaping?
I was going to divorce him over lying again. I was getting tired of it.
And so if he came to you and said, dude, I'm struggling with vaping.
That would have been different.
Okay.
I did that the first time.
No, I found it. It was in the pocket. And I
sat down and said, okay, I need help. So yes, I was lying. But I feel like I came and sat down and said, I need help. I've been found, but yeah, I needed help. I don't know, John.
Melissa, what do you think?
I feel like he feels pushed down from me, from what he's told me. I feel like he is screaming for autonomy. I feel like he needs to be free. Like he does not want people telling him what to do or having any kind of control on him. I think that trying to compromise in a marriage, I think, is really, really hard for him.
And I guess where I would challenge both of you is I don't believe, hey, will you love me this way? My wife asking me to help fix some stuff out by our barn. My wife asking if I'll help put the kids to bed. My wife asking if X, Y, or Z. Or me asking my wife, hey, can you send me a PDF of the electric bill this month for what? I just don't feel like that's pushing each other around. And I don't feel like that is not getting your way. Yes, at the end of the day, Steve, if you want a world where you do not have to live and co-create a new world together with somebody, marriage is not for you. And I'll ask you to have the courage to not drag somebody through the mud. If you want out, say the words, I want out. If, and not on this show, I want you all to do that privately. If you dearly love Melissa, which I hear from her that she loves you.
I love her to death. She's been the greatest love I've had.
Then I want you to at least give some thought to you are not being drugged through the world by these women who hurt you in the past. At some point, you're making choices on a daily basis. And yes, I know the feelings are strong and the feelings are heavy and all those things, but you're making choices on a daily basis to not be honest. You're making choices to not wake up every day and say, Melissa, how can I love you today? And then just going to do those things. You're making choices every day to find gaps in the world where you can be the victim and just say,
No.
It's just the way this is, man.
No, I don't think that's true, where I'm finding a way I can be a victim.
Show me where you're putting forth the radical effort to be radically honest.
So can I bring up the hunting, fishing
You bring
thing?
up anything you want.
So I was going to go hunting.
Mm-hmm.
We had talked earlier, she and I and some friends, about taking naps in hunting blinds and how beautiful a nap in the hunting blind is. She thought I was prolonging the hunting season to go spend more weekends out hunting. Like I would nap on purpose so I could have more time in the blind. So I was going to go hunting last fall. It was a beautiful day. It was warm. I didn't think deer would be around. I decided I wanted to go fish instead of hunt, but I didn't feel I could tell her that because she thought I was delaying hunting. It's not a victim. It's she didn't accept or understand or agree with my change of plans. It wasn't so I could go.
So, Melissa, what do you think? What do you think, Melissa?
There's been a lot of extreme situations with Steve where it just he gets really wrapped up in one thing, and then that's his whole life. And I go down all these little rabbit trails with him of this new thing, or now he's into this, and I support him. And with the hunting, it was I was like blocking out my calendar. Okay, he will probably be hunting all these days. And that is kind of okay. It's just everything is extreme. But then also there's hurts around, that's our property that he goes to. And there's history there where he had gone and I had supported him to go visit his brother there and have, he was out of work for a while. And so he would go see his brother there. And I kept supporting him like, oh, you're out of work. You should go to the property, go spend time with your brother. And then come to find out he had been bad-mouthing me to his brother. I saw messages to his brother that were saying that I was OCD and that I was controlling and that I didn't let him do anything money-wise. And then he told his brother a secret that I had told him not to say. And so I just felt completely thrown under the bus. So the whole thing, even just around the property where he hunts, it's a sensitive topic for then, okay, now we're dealing with all these past lies and him throwing me under the bus. And then now he's going to the property like possibly every weekend during hunting season. And now he's, going to go fishing. So it just, I understand that he would have changed his mind because he fishes very often as well. But I think for him, he saw that as things that I've said in the past, like of how the emotions that I felt with what happened in the past with him down at the property, and then just all the extreme things that he does that I basically feel like I'm just kind of like each day, like, what are we doing today? What are you into today? What rabbit trail are we going down? And I support him. And
Steve, I think what you gave me, Steve, I think what you gave me was just not a fair characterization. That's a much fuller picture. Do you disagree with that?
I do.
Okay.
I know because it was a separate incident. I get all the emotions behind it.
Okay, it was separate for you. But you figured out a way to turn that entire situation into an excuse for you not to tell the truth about a thing that was highly sensitive.
No, I didn't feel safe saying something. I don't think it's an excuse to hide.
All right. Yeah, at the end of the day, brother, I can't help you. This feels, the gaslights are so bright, it's hard to see. It's blinding. And as much as you continue to choose to see yourself as the epicenter of all of these different issues and then be like, I got to do this because I'm just not safe. I just got to do this because I'm not safe. You can feel how you want to feel. I want you to look around at the landscape. You have somebody that you love deeply and who loves you who's walking out the door for the third time. You've got struggles here. You got struggles over there. And every one of those is somebody else's issue. And I totally hear you don't want to hear from me, and that's fine. That's totally fine. And I appreciate y'all calling. But until you decide to set it all out on the table and say, okay, I'm going to make some different choices. There's not a lot anybody can do to help. A marriage therapist isn't going to be able to wrap their head around this until you tell them the truth. A counselor's not going to be able to wrap their head around it until you tell them the truth. I hate that for you, man. I hate it for both of you. That's the best I can do for today.